This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. So good to have you log on. WKYT as we get this new day off and rolling. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. It's Wednesday, November 4th.
And coming up on 6:30, a stunning upset in the race for Kentucky governor.
Voters reject a measure to legalize pot across the river in Ohio.
And good news for a Central Kentucky teenager who was badly injured in a fiery crash.
We're starting off pretty nice there in the 50s, even some 60s down south as you're stepping out the door. Head toward noontime, going off to lunch. Already beautiful. 71 degrees. They have a little more time to heat, and we'll heat up to the mid-70s once it's all said and done. I'll get right into that forecast towards your Friday. That's when the cold front comes. Just a few minutes.
And we'll see you then. And for just the second time in 4 decades, Kentucky voters have elected a Republican as governor of the Commonwealth.
A businessman, Matt Bevin, defeated Democrat Jack Conway by nearly 9 percentage points. His running mate, Janine Hampton, will be the first African-American to hold statewide office in Kentucky.
Bevin's win was somewhat of an upset. He trailed every WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll and several other polls running up to this week's election. Come January, his challenger will be out of a job. WKYT's Mark Barber is live this morning with our Campaign 2015 coverage. Joining us in our newsroom. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. As you just said, Republican Matt Bevin was trailing in the polls heading into this election. But on Election Day, his supporters showed up and elected him governor with more than 52% of the vote. It's a victory that the New York Times is calling stunning this morning. The Louisville businessman who ran as a political outsider and rallied voters by asking them to vote their values is calling this a fresh start for Kentucky. When he took the stage after the win, he thanked his supporters who helped him win the hotly contested race by 84,000 votes.
What an extraordinary night this is. I'll tell you what is awesome, that this is a race that is a collective effort. You all are the wind behind us. You all were the momentum that brought this forward.
The defeated state's attorney general did not say what he plans to do next. However, he did say that he is disappointed but wants to continue working for Kentuckians.
To the people of Kentucky, I want to say to you, I respect your decision. I hope we can always work together in common purpose. I love our state. I love its diversity. I love everything about it. I love Kentucky. And I want to thank the people of Kentucky for the tremendous honor of allowing me to serve as the 49th Attorney General in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
The third candidate in the race, Independent Drew Curtis, says he might run for office again. But first, he's releasing a book detailing everything that he learned during this election.
I'm a novice. I've never done this before, and I'm not a politician, yet I was able to get into this race, more or less control the topics of conversation about this, and actually make a dent in the way that everything ran.
Just over 30% of voters cast their ballots in this governor's election. Curtis scooped up more than 35,000 votes. Conway grabbed about 427,000 votes, and Bevin came in with about 512,000 votes. It's a historic win for Republicans in Kentucky because Bevin's becoming only the second Republican governor in 4 decades. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The second since the year 2000. Ernie Fletcher elected in 2003. Louis Nunn served as a Republican governor 67 to 71. And before that, you go back to Simeon Willis in the 1940s. So it is an accomplishment for Republicans. Also scoring victories in 3 other statewide races.
Among them, state auditor Republican Mike Harmon, a state lawmaker and insurance agent, ousted incumbent Democrat Adam Edelin. Harmon won the race despite spending far less money than Edelin.
About 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I felt like God was leading me to pick up 5 stones. 5 stones to be symbolic of the David and Goliath. But you know what? I read the book. David won.
In the state treasurer's race, Republican Allison Ball easily defeated Democrat Rick Nelson. Ball says her background will help her in office.
As a bankruptcy attorney, I think all the time about fixing financial problems, getting people on sound financial footing, and I am eager to use those skills in the treasurer's office to be that watchdog on our spending.
In the race for Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner, Republican State Representative Ryan Quarles defeated Democrat Jean Marie Lawson-Spann. Quarles, currently a state representative from Georgetown, campaigned on his farming experience.
You know, the future of agriculture is bright. and I'm glad to plow new ground as we continue the success of the Kentucky Proud marketing program, continue agriculture education.
And his election, by the way, will prompt a special election in Scott County for another state representative. That will be the case as well, where Mike Harmon won, leaving his state representative seat over in Danville. It was not a shutout for the Republicans last night in the election. The Democrats did pick up 2 wins last night. Andy Beshear was elected Attorney General, gaining about 2,000 more votes than Republican Whitney Westerfield. And Allison Lundergan Grimes holds on to her seat as Secretary of State. She won a second term, defeating Steve Nipper. Now, you can also find all of our election coverage, the latest updates, and we'll be following along as Governor-elect Bevin sets up his administration on WKYT.com. Just to our north, Ohio voters rejected a measure that would have legalized marijuana. The proposal would have allowed adults 21 and older to use, buy, and grow certain amounts of marijuana. Ohio would have been the first state to make marijuana legal for both recreational and medical use. The proposal was defeated by a nearly 2-to-1 margin.
In other news, police are questioning a man about some robberies after a short chase in Lexington. Police say they were called out to the South Broadway near Angliana Avenue for a report of a suspicious man. A man matching the description ran from police. They caught up with him after they say he threw a gun to some bushes. The man's name has not been released because police have yet to charge him. New this morning, the case against a Boyle County man accused of mistreating dogs will go to trial. The Advocate Messenger reports Chris Pope's plea deal was rejected. Instead, a judge set his trial date for November 20th. He faces dozens of counts of animal mistreatment and neglect. Pope was arrested in July when police say 7 of his dogs attacked a woman in Lincoln County. Police also raided a Boyle County home and confiscated 11 more dogs. Also new this morning, a gas station clerk is shaken up pretty bad after an overnight crime.
Yeah, police say 2 men robbed the Thorntons on Versailles Road, and then hours later, police were called right back out there. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is live to explain what happened. Michelle?
Yes, good morning. The clerk at this Thorntons on Versailles Road did not wish to speak about these incidents, nor did she want to be on camera. And she had one night. At 12:30 this morning, police say 2 men entered the store demanding cash from her and implied that they had a weapon. Now, they got off with money, but police say as they were responding to the call, they found the men just down the street at the Lee's Famous Recipe. Police took the men in for questioning and later arrested and charged Claude Daly and Miles Brizis with robbery. The men are being held in the Fayette County Detention Center. Now, in an unrelated situation a couple of hours later at the same gas station, police say the clerk at the store pushed the panic button as 2 people were in the store fighting. Now, police did arrest 1 person for public intoxication. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Oh, thank you very much. And new this morning, a man is in jail accused of selling drugs at an eastern Kentucky car wash. Barberville police say Eddie Gray was dealing meth out of his truck at Jarrett Clay's car wash. Police say they also found heroin in Gray's truck. He is in jail in Leslie County now, facing several drug-related charges.
We're tracking the investigation this morning into a deadly shooting in Rowan County. It happened along Cold Springs Hollow near Moorhead. The sheriff's office says 51-year-old Philip Gent got into an argument with his brother. The sheriff says Gent's brother then later shot him. Gent later died. The sheriff's office still investigating exactly what led up to the shooting. No charges have been filed. On the heels of statewide elections, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis is asking a federal appeals court to overturn a judge's ruling that ordered her to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. In a new filing, Davis's attorneys say Judge David Bunning's order was a, quote, rush to judgment, which trampled her religious liberty. Davis spent 5 days in jail for defying the order. Since then, the clerk's office has been issuing marriage licenses without Davis's name on them.
New this morning, attorneys for a man accused of plotting to attack the U.S. Capitol are questioning if he is mentally competent. 21-year-old Christopher Cornell is from Ohio, but he is being held in Boone County, Kentucky, in the jail there. Court documents show that his attorneys say there's, quote, reasonable cause to believe that Cornell has a mental disease. Investigators say Cornell planned to attack the Capitol in support of the Islamic State group. A Bath County teenager doing much better after being seriously injured in a crash more than a month ago. Friends and family say 16-year-old Aaron Williams is doing much better now as he is recovering at Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation Hospital. Back in September, Aaron was hurt when his car hit a tree and it caught on fire. A Good Samaritan pulled Aaron to safety. He could be back home in as little as 2 weeks. Time to check live drive traffic. Let's go to Don. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. It looks like they're en route to a collision on Versailles and Red Mile right now. We'll have more on that coming up. But in that area, expect some issues, Versailles and Red Mile. Overall view of traffic flow should be okay coming in on the interstate. No significant issues right now. Watching our drive times, too. In pretty good shape so far this morning, this early, with, as I said, nothing major happening right now. Headed toward Lexington from Versailles, Nicholasville, also from Scott County, coming in from Georgetown, should be okay. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you so much. 6:40 the time on WKYT this morning. Back to it for a lot of folks who had yesterday off because of Election Day. Some of the schools closed. A lot more news is on the way this morning.
Yeah, and national news, police in Massachusetts had a tough time catching an escapee in their town, but this fugitive wasn't of the two-leg variety. We'll have more after weather.
Good looking start to the day with a mixture of sun and clouds, well above average again today and tomorrow. And then we'll start to see changes there on Friday. I'll have that coming up next.